Food as lush. First of all, folks, I want to mention something. I went over to my neighbor's house, and as they turned the channel on the TV, this strangely colored being popped up on the screen, along with a boy. I asked, "What is that?" and it was explained to me that this was an alien show. I thought, oh goody, I'll just sit here and wait until I can blow holes in the narrative, because obviously this is why there are so many of these shows on air right now, shows about aliens. They know disclosure is coming, and they use your subconscious interest in them to put forth their narrative. Upon asking what the relationship was between this boy and the ET, I was told, he's the only one able to see him, so obviously this is worth making a TV show out of, is it? Gee, my life hasn't hit the big screen yet. Wonder why not? Because I won't spread their narrative. My reply to this was that, he's not unusual because he can see them, everyone else is unusual because they can't. It's normal for a human to see ETs, it's abnormal when they can't. There you go, the narrative is that there are weirdos walking on this planet who can see ETs. The more they keep reinforcing that idea in the public, the longer your mind slides remain intact, and they can continue to fool you from behind the scenes. Lying and deception shuts the third eye, and the third eye is how you can see beyond this physical dimension. That's why they broadcast their deception on television. I should think they're especially afraid of the children right now because they're being born with more active DNA than I was, and have more multidimensional abilities than I did when I was their age. Plus, a lot of them are still starseeds who know instinctively that aliens exist because they are them. I was contacted and asked to do a channeling on food as lush. I want to point out that food itself isn't lush, food is food and lush is lush. However, one can lead to the other, in fact one has been modified in order to create the other. Like we said in our lush video series a few weeks ago, everything in our environment has been manipulated in order to create lush, including your food and including your physical bodies. I'll let Ivo explain how they create this. Ivo, this involves you personally, as well, my love, because those people who have liver damage and grievous hormonal imbalances such as you have, need to take note. First of all, I wish to state that all Earthlings are being primed to become sick in their later years. Those of the North American continent, those who are taught that they are the more fortunate countries of the world, have agendas applied to them that pertain to their so-called affluence. There are your third world countries that have other agendas applied to them to create lush that pertain to their poverty. So there are different agendas being run on many countries of your world depending on whether they are affluent or not. Me, affluence. Okay. Whatever. Ivo, you used to be of middle class, my love, and as a middle class child you ate steak, drank milk and had ice cream for dessert every day. This led to your allergies, as did the trauma you suffered at home, but all of these things conspired to make you sick. I might say to all who follow us, Sheran produces videos and works on our books and website every day, despite a chronic fatigue problem she has that is caused by hormonal imbalances and a toxified body. Her mouthful of amalgam fillings do not help the situation at all. She is researching many subjects, has just received her foot bath detox machine, filters her air, filters her tap water, tries not to drink out of plastics, and has dispensed with many products on the grocery store shelves that others consider to be foods. At present she is on a low-carbohydrate diet, because she understands that she has hyperinsulinism and low blood sugar. In an effect to bring up her blood sugar and give herself more energy, she is dispensing with her favored high-sugar foods, sweets, snacks, and other processed fast foods that she has indulged in for years. As I say, she has an affluence problem. Me, yes, I can see that when you say it that way. Ivo, my love, you are barely capable of doing this channeling as you are right now. I protest. Me, when else am I going to be able to do it? At night time I have to shut off my computer because of the light screwing up my circadian rhythms. You remember the week I went camping when I didn't use the computer all week? I fell asleep at 10 p.m. and slept like a log all night. Ivo, yes. It does affect you adversely. Me, I keep saying I'm a canary in this coal mine. That must be another light worker role. To suffer from this stuff and raise the alarm to warn others. Ivo, onwards, my love. Those who live in your so-called affluent countries are exposed to agendas pertaining to your affluence. The idea is to make you miserable enough trying to create your wealth that you suffer. You do not understand that suffering is the agenda that the dark ones are putting forth on your world, and the reason is so that you will create lush. You are living in an out of balance society that keeps your health off balance and keeps your doctors in money. Many heads of the larger medical centers are crooked DS members who utilize their patients to meet the ends of the Satanists on your planet. You have seen this with the reports on the current V situation. As for your food is being created in factories. Does that not scare you? Your food is processed, subjected to chemicals while growing, and then subjected to chemicals in order to preserve it. It is colored with artificial colors, it is mixed with non-edible ingredients, it is further processed and chemicalized, and then put into containers, some of which in the past have been shown to be toxic to the human body, such as tin and plastics. And yet you continue to eat it? Sugar itself is another food that has been stripped of any part of it that would help in its own processing, and then refined to create a greater spike in insulin. Your profusion of diabetes cases bears this out. You are being toxified. And in being toxified, you express emotions of those particular frequencies, which create lush. Sheran wakes up with low blood sugar and is now fated to spending the day with low or moderate blood sugar instead of increasing her blood sugar with ice cream, cheesecake, or some other food that will spike her glucose high enough to allow her to feel well. So she is grouchy. We have not done much to help her with this problem because the solutions are available to her already. She understands that detoxing and diet modification, as well as supplementation, are good ways to deal with her problem. She understands that weather modification and chemtrailing keeps her from her beloved sunshine, which also helps her to feel better. Yes, the modification of your foodstuffs indeed creates lush. Eating a natural diet with as few pesticides, GMOs, chemicals, and toxic containers is the way to go. Sheran eats organic lettuce greens every day in her salad, but she takes them out of plastic containers. Me, yeah, never thought of that. Ivo, these containers contain harmful toxins that leach into the salad greens. However, it is the best you can get at the moment. Me, I like when I grew vegetables in my garden. Ivo, yes, but they too are sprayed with chemtrails. Me, true. Ivo, these impurification agendas must be stopped. Your body has rashes all over, and you have now identified the rash as a liver problem, and have found a way to stop the itching. Sheran continues to break out, feel fatigued, have mood swings, and pray for a better tomorrow every day. She has little energy to continue to do this work and awaits the day when she has help in the office. Many of you who are eating poorly will suffer the same fate if you do not change. You have so much power, and were you unified in consciousness, your people would be able to overcome the problems that are created for you by the DS right now. If you were of one consciousness, all would shop the same and all would become averse to the toxified laboratory products that are on your shelves. Purchase of them would stop and the focus would be on healthy foods, not GMO foods, and not modified factory products. But you are not all of one consciousness. And it takes quite a while for more and more people to understand the advantage of eating organic food. Your influence on others' consciousnesses has been slow in coming. You now have gluten intolerance, dairy intolerance, nut intolerance, and more. Why? Because your bodies are reacting to foods that you have become acclimated to over the centuries. That is how out of balance you are, and how out of balance your world currently is. Many blood types can eat dairy and wheat with no problem. Sheran is type O and she should avoid this as her body is an older blood type. Me, yes, O negative. Ivo, yes, the alien blood type. You are one of us. All of the imbalances created by your air, food, water, Everything you ingest in your affluent societies as a perk of being one of the so-called haves of your world, not the disadvantaged third world types, creates mood imbalances, emotional imbalances, mental health problems, and more. It creates lush. Balance your body and your mind will balance more easily. You will enjoy healthy, robust emotional states. Me, that reminds me of that book I read about a lady who was a parole officer who changed the diets of the young kids she was paroling from Coca-Cola and donuts for breakfast to probably cereals, which is better but still laced with sugar. Even with those changes, these kids did an about face in their pathological moods and thinking, and it was like they were different people. They stopped committing crimes. Ivo, yes, not creating lush any longer. I rest my case. Me, it was an interesting book. It's called, Food and Behavior, by Barbara Reed Stitt. Ivo, there is a direct connection to being out of balance and creating lush. The reason your world is out of balance is so that you can create lush. Food is just another avenue they have created, and profited from, to keep you suffering and creating lush. The sooner you recognize this, the better it will be for all. Me, thank you Ivo. Ivo, my love, try to get some sunshine today. You will not have energy until this evening when your adrenals increase in function, however, rest up during the day and get some sunshine. Me, thanks, I will.